How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Positive Mindset Podcast, where we come together to raise our vibration, lift our perspective, and build a positive mindset. My name is Henry, and I'm so thankful to have each and everyone here today because in this episode, we're going to talk about how to move through difficult times. If you're feeling the weight of the world, if you're struggling, if you can't see your way forward, this is the episode for you because we're going to talk about how to use perspective to shift and receive what you desire. And make sure you stay tuned to the very end because we're going to do some deep, healing, meditative breaths to help us align on the frequency of this message and carry it throughout the day. So if you're feeling stuck, if you tuned into this episode because you feel the weight on your shoulders, it's heavy, you can't see in front of you, you can't think clearly, you're lost, how do you make it through? Understanding what this is, what we're doing in this life is extremely important. We are having an experience. It's nothing more, nothing less. Just as a movie is something that you watch, a song is something that you listen to, this life is something that you experience. But you are experiencing it. It is not experiencing you. Meaning you're the creator of it. You came here for choice. It is all for you. Everything. The hard moments that you're going through right now, the hard moments that I'm going through right now, the hurt, the feeling of lost, the feeling of not knowing where to go. It's all for you because you see, when you move through hard times, when you make it through these difficulties, your belief in what you are increases. When your belief in what you are increases, you become more of that thing. You see, you're having an experience for a reason. You're having an experience to expand a certain direction. Ideally, or at least my focus, is in a positive one, into the higher frequencies, closer to love. But you can also expand in any other direction. You can move away from love. You can move beside love. We can all do it. So when you decide what you want this experience to be, you wake up and do that every single day. If you're listening to this, if you want the positive one, if you want to move towards love, then you learn to operate in love regardless. When you can't see forward, when you can't understand what the next step will be, when it seems like every direction you look, it's blocked, this is when you rise up. You see, when you go through this time, when you make it to the other side, because this is just a moment, there's been moments before, there are going to be moments after. We know that there's just not one long moment, otherwise the dinosaurs would be here. There's still things moving. Time goes on, experiences continue. So when you're going through this tough time, maybe you lost somebody, maybe you're sick, maybe you're just struggling, you just don't know what to do, whatever it is, the economy, your career, your purpose, you feel lost. How do you see forward? What do you want to happen? What are you working for? You always look for the silver lining. We are observers and creators. So when you're going through this tough time and you see the walls close in, you can't see forward, your brain is foggy, your ears are clogged, you can't hear, you don't know what to do, you look for the silver lining. When you can, even in the hardest situation, find what is right, find what is good, find what is love, you will naturally, because of what you are, your essence of your being, create more of it. You are an observer and creator of your experience. When everything is blocked and you have to raise your perspective to see something else, you're literally increasing your frequency. And when you can see something in that frequency because you're perceiving it, your perception, that's your reception. So it teaches you, it strengthens you to go up, to see more, to receive more when it's not present. When you can find light when there isn't any, you are the light, because the law of attraction says like attracts like. So this hard time isn't because you meant to be suffering. This isn't because you did something wrong. It isn't because you made bad decisions. Those can create experience, but ultimately, even that, the consequence is for you. It's all for you. You chose this experience. You decided to be here. You are here to learn. This is a school. Learning. Class is always in session. And so that we hope things get better. We have these dreams, these ideas that good times are going to come. We pray for them. We meditate on them. We try to manifest them. We dream of them. Better times, easier times, simpler times. The remember when times, the better days. We think of it. We desire it. But ultimately, growth doesn't happen there. It doesn't. When you want to exercise and you lift those heavy weights, or you do that running, or you do those stretching, when you're doing the things, you don't expand until it gets difficult. And then when it gets difficult, you push in the area, you fail in that area, you struggle in the area, you lose in the area, but you keep showing up, you keep preparing for it, you keep expanding on what you can do in there, and eventually you move through it. And when you move through it, your understanding of what was increases. So now, whether you were lifting a weight, you're running a race, you were doing stretching, you were jumping, whatever it is, when you go back to the thing that was hard, you're able to do it with ease. You're able to do it and see it differently. Think about this. Think about you're a chess player and you're learning how to play the game of chess. And so you start when you're 20 years old. You're like, I'm going to learn chess. I'm in college or I'm out of college and I just want to learn something. So you start practicing chess and you start going to these tournaments. And you go to a beginner's tournament. And you start playing and you make a lot of mistakes. You're learning. But eventually you get good and you stick to it a little while and then you're better than everybody in the beginner tournament. And then you go on to the medium tournament. And this you're playing people better at first. They beat you. It's so difficult. You can't figure it out. But you start learning from them. You start watching them play. You start getting a different understanding. And then you start winning. And then before you know it, the medium tournament starts becoming really easy. Then you go to a hard tournament. You've been doing it for 10 years now. You've really spent a lot of time perfecting your game of chess. And as soon as you get up there, you start losing again. It seems complicated. You can't see your way through, but you keep showing up. You keep watching others, learning different perspectives, learning different things. And you keep expanding your understanding of the game that you're playing. Eventually, you start winning in the hard level. You really start expanding. You soon become the best one there. What do you think would happen? And this is 10 plus years has gone by. You've practiced, you've played chess over and over. You played in the beginner stage, you became the best. You played in the mediocre stage and became the best. You played in the hard stage and you became the best. You have risen every single time. When you go back to that medium stage, when you show up and you play one of them, not only will you win, but your understanding of why they lost, of what happened, has increased tremendously. Your understanding of all angles in that situation is high because your perspective is high because you've increasingly done harder and harder things and rose to the occasion every single time. Life is no different. When you play in this level and it's difficult, eventually you rise up. Eventually you learn. Eventually you change your perspective and you see things differently. And so your understanding of the experience expands. And that's what we're here to do, is expand. When you realize that we're not here to get the nice car, that we're not here to date this right person, we're not here to have the thing, achieve the thing. We're only here to become something, right? And that's the next level. That's the next rise up. That's the level up. That's for you, for me, for all of us. It has a purpose. It has a purpose. So I know you might be struggling right now. I'm struggling right now. Things can be hard. Difficulties happen. You face hardships that make you want to cry, that make you want to close your eyes, that make you want to run away. They will happen, I promise you, because I promise that I practice my mindset every single day, that I spend time in this positive mindset energy, and hard things happen to me, and I have to use it to see my way through. It never stops. Don't ask for easier times. Ask to become stronger. That's how you level up. You can't have something that's not you. The law of attraction says like attracts like. So if you want ease, you have to become someone that can create ease. So if you're someone that can find the positive in any situation, it no longer matters what the situation is. If you need the situation to get simpler, for you to feel better, for you to be stronger, for you to be whatever, then that's not growth. That's shrinking. That's lowering yourself. That's not giving yourself the power. That's giving external the power. And external doesn't exist. So you're really just sending the power away from you. Turn your fingers back. Point to yourself. Allow yourself to remember who you are, a powerful creator that's here for an experience. The experience is to grow in every situation. The experience is to expand your perspective on every single situation. It's not to get through it. It's not to win it. It's not for it to get easier. It's for you to level up. And as you level up, it becomes easier, but you go on to other challenges. We want to be towards God. We want to be in the highest frequency. We desire those things in different capacities, but we desire it because that's what feels good. But you can't just go there. You have to become it. That's what I believe. I don't believe that heaven, or whatever you think of it is just something that you can do certain things and then get into. I think it's a frequency, because everything is frequency. Everything vibrates at a certain level. Everything has patterns, and you can't be in a pattern if you're not the pattern. You can't be in the frequency if you're not the frequency. So if you want to go to this high power, if you want to go to this elevated thing, then you have to tap into it. You have to become it. So everything is pointing to you on how to become it. There's pain in the world because you need to be love. There's loss in the world because you need to be found. There's hurt in the world because you need to heal so that you can become the healing. All these things that we hate, all these things that we struggle with that are in the world are in it for a purpose. It's so that we can become the opposite of it when it's not present, so that we know we're it. Exactly. It's going into the darkness and being the light versus complaining that there's no light in the darkness. It is always you. It is always you. The world is not as it is. It is as you are. Meaning, if you go through something difficult and you don't see a way through, it's because you don't have the way through. But if you are the path, and when you go into the difficult thing, you know to go within you and you become the light in every single situation. This is all happening for you. That's all I can say. I know it hurts. I know it's not fair, at least from the human perspective, at least from the ego perspective. But when you go beyond that, why not view yourself as a being that came here for a challenging life, to be a bright light where it isn't? How do you know you haven't lived the easy life? How do you know you haven't lived the unfulfilling life? Instead, now you're in one that's extremely fulfilling, because when you come from the bottom, when you come from the hurt, when you come from the lowest of lows and become the opposite of that, you know without a doubt that's what you are. You have no doubt. My parents didn't give me this. My family didn't give me this. This world didn't give me this. I just became it, received it, experienced it, and gave it. That's where we go through. So we're going to take a deep, healing, meditative breath. We're going to slow down and really tap into this moment. So you can imagine it however you want, but when I take a deep breath in, I'm going to see myself sitting here. I'm going to see myself in this room. And then as I breathe in, I'm just going to watch myself expand. I'm going to see my energy, my soul come out and just see everything. Still connected, still aligned, but broader perspective. Seeing outside this house, seeing outside this county, seeing outside this state, seeing the universe, the world, all of it, knowing that I am more and I can perceive anything. That's the vision I'm going to have. You should have something similar. Expand your vision. As you're holding your breath, stay in that heightened state. See everything beyond you, past, present, and future. Your surroundings and beyond. See it all. Whatever comes to mind, just visualize it. And then when you exhale, allow that higher vision, allow that higher perspective to stay with you. Know that you can tap in beyond self at any moment. If you're feeling lost, you can go up, 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 up until you can see where the positive is. You can see where the silver lining is. That's what you're going to tap into. That's how you're going to level up. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And out. So I'm not wishing and I'm not praying that things get easier. I'm not wishing for you that you get well. I'm not wishing for you or praying for you that the thing changes. All I'm wishing for is that your perspective becomes high, that your vision expands, that you recognize what you are, a powerful creator, a powerful observer that creates what it observes. And that you become the thing that makes the shift. The universe doesn't need to do it for you. You're the one that can do it. So set your focus, set your intention, and become the rising tide that lifts all ships. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope this episode was impactful and gave you a different perspective on whatever it is that you're going through. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single episode, make sure you subscribe to my email list. There's a link down below. It will keep you up to date with every single episode. And if you want to follow me on social media, there's my Instagram and TikTok down below. I appreciate all the follows there. Well, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.